What's up, everybody? It's Kevin Vidini here for Superpower Review, coming back at you with a part 5 of my entire comic book collection. We're going to take a look what's inside of this BCW comic book bin. In here I keep a lot of my keys, raw keys, first appearances, or any books that I want to stay in the same condition that I bought them in. A lot of people have been asking for a lot more Amazing Spider-Man books, and people have been asking for Batman books. Well guys, you're definitely going to get an eyeful with what's inside of this box, so stay tuned. Alright, you guys ready to see the first book? We're starting this video with some fire. Here is an Amazing Spider-Man number 50, the first appearance of the Kingpin. This book right here was given to me by a friend who comes to the studio that I work at, who does a show. Okay, this person was huge into comic book collecting when he was a teenager to his early adult years, and he kept his collection. This guy used to have a fire collection. I definitely have seen it before. This guy decided one day to sell all of his comic books. He made a huge load of cash because of what he had in there was just amazing, absolutely amazing. So when he came in to tell me that he sold his collection, he was like, "Hey Kevin, I sold my entire comic book collection, but I saved one comic book for you, knowing that you're a Spider-Man fan," and handed me this book. So I paid nothing for this book, and this book goes for $500, $300, depending on condition, of course, but this thing is pretty clean. And I recently just got this book pressed and cleaned as well. This thing is pretty nice. Let me see if I can get shots of spine. We got some spine ticks, you know what I mean? But this book is really, really nice. And again, I just got this book pressed and cleaned. The back cover of this book was marked in pencil, and you can see this in one of my videos, my press and cleaning video results, which would be on my channel. But this book was marked up with some pencil. It looked awful, and when I sent it in for pressing and cleaning, I thought the guy would never get the pencil off, but he did. And you have to watch that video because it's quite amazing. So we're gonna go like sort of back and forth between Marvel and Batman. We're just gonna do a little more Marvel right now so Batman can catch up. So here is a Spider-Man #1 Silver Edition. This is signed by Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane. And this was my first Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane signature that I've ever owned. This book I obtained through a raffle win. It was my first and last raffle win. I asked my wife, I was like, "Hey, babe, what do you think would be the winning number?" She's like, "It's definitely number 3, hon." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's try it." And I think I paid like $10, $5 or something like that, and ended up winning the book. So this is definitely one of my favorite books I have in my entire collection. All right, we're gonna do another Spider-Man books again, so Batman can catch up. Here is a Amazing Spider-Man number 238, which is the first appearance of Hobgoblin. This book has the tattoos, and this book is in maybe about an 8.0 range. I would say maybe pushing it for an 8.5, but all right, here's a Batman book. We're going to do a Batman book now. Okay, here is the first Silver Age appearance of Scarecrow. I picked this book up last year at a con, at MegaCon. I spent $60 on it, and I'm glad I only spent $60 on it. This book is a key, but if you guys follow me closely, you guys know that I'm not really a huge fan into Silver Age comics. Some of them are just like too campy for me, and this is one of those books. So I'm glad I didn't pay more than $100 for this book, to be quite honest. I love the cover though. I really do. I love the cover, and you know, it's nice to have because Scarecrow is my top 5 favorite Batman villains, but it's a little beat, you know what I mean? Cover's a little worn. Spine, there's a corner there that's kind of worn out, but again, I'm happy I only spent $60 on this thing and nothing more. Okay, so this next book should keep your attention. This is where the addiction starts getting a little crazy. Okay, here is a Secret Wars number 8, which is the origin of Spider-Man's symbiote costume. As you guys know, this is one of my favorite, this is not one of my favorites, this is my favorite Spider-Man suit of all time. And one of my favorite Spider-Man covers with the symbiote suit. So the addiction is real. So this is one of the books that I really wanted to have as a teenager when I was in, comic book collecting, and, I was like, I'll never spend that much money on a book, but here we go. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. This one's signed by John Beatty, Mike Zeck, and Jim Shooter, who Mike Zeck is the artist, John Beatty, inker, and Shooter, the writer of the story, in case for people who don't know. I already lost track. This is just another one. I already lost track on how many this is. I know there's 7 in this box, so here's another one. And the last one is sketched and remarked by Mike Zeck. Oops, sorry about that. This is one of my favorite copies here. I do have one more, Secret Wars number 8. It's graded, and that will be in the next video in case you guys are interested. So if you want to see that, subscribe right now. So this one's remarked by Mike Zeck, little Venom right here, signed in silver, which looks pretty nice on the logo. I bought this on eBay for I think 80 bucks. And I thought that was a steal of a deal, and I decided to pick it up. Most of these Secret Wars 8s that I have in my collection are almost near mint. There's a couple in here that could, be like an 8.5, but they're all near mint. So don't worry, don't worry. This gets a lot worse. There's another comic book in here in this bin that I have multiples of, and you guys are gonna shit a brick. All right, let's do another Batman book. All right, here we have one of my favorite Neil Adams covers, which is a Batman 227. This is a cover swipe. Oh, I can never remember the number, but this is a cover swipe of an earlier detective book. I want to say it was Detective Comics 31, but don't quote me on that. This was one of my mistakes from last year. I bought 2 by accident. I bought 1. And then I forgot I was bidding on another one, ended up winning that one, which is fine because you know what? I made the mistake, a good mistake, because as you can see here, I brought this to a con and I had Neil Adams remark it with a Batman, signed it in silver up there, looks really nice. And this is another book that I recently had pressed and cleaned. Now, you guys might notice that this book is a lot cleaner, and you're like, Kevin, why would you not put that on this book? Well, that's because I like to make things that are ugly beautiful. So I was like, this book is not very impressive. Let's make it, let's make this ugly duckling into a beautiful swan, and let's put a beautiful Batman sketch on that. So this is one of my favorite books in my collection too. If you've ever seen my top 5 comic books in my collection video, which you probably should check out. All right, going back to Spider-Man, here is my 2 copies of Amazing Spider-Man number 252, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man in the symbiote costume. If anyone says it's tied with Marvel Team Up 141 and blah 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 Secret Wars 8, no, you're wrong. This is the official first appearance of Spider-Man in the symbiote suit. We're gonna do a few more Spider-Man books here, and then we'll get back to another Batman book. This is an Amazing Spider-Man number 298, which is Todd McFarlane's first Spider-Man book, Amazing Spider-Man book. And this is Amazing Spider-Man number 299, which is the first cameo appearance of Venom. Okay, going back to Batman. Here is my Batman number 232, which is the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. Love this cover, and definitely trying to get this book signed by Neil Adams this year. Not this particular copy, a different copy. This book I got really cheap at Boston Comic Con for 80 bucks. It's not in rough condition. I was happy to spend $80 on it, but it does have a major water stain on the corner here, which does affect the whole book. But you know what? For 80 bucks, I was like, yeah, give it to me. I don't care. It looks beautiful to me. I'm happy with that. Okay, you guys ready to see more madness? Okay, this is hands down my favorite book. My favorite book of all time. This is an Amazing Spider-Man number 300. You know what this is. This is the first full appearance of Venom. The addiction is so real with this one, along with my Secret Wars number 8, that I also have 8 copies of this book, 2 being graded, which you'll see again in the graded video. So in this box I have 6 copies of an Amazing Spider-Man number 300. I know, it's really silly. Most of these copies, I would say, run between an 8.0 to a 9.4 range. Most of these books. I recently got, I think, 3 pressed and cleaned, but this one right here is the first one I ever bought, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah, favorite book of all time. Again, this is one of those books that I really wanted as a teenager. I was like, screw that. I ain't going to pay $125 for a comic book. That was back then when I was liking comic books. And, of course, now this book is so much more expensive because of the movie and yada, yada, yada. But this book is starting to die down a little bit in price. So, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 300. 8 copies, 6 in the bin, 2 are graded. All right. More multiple copies of a book. Here is a Batman number 234, which is the first Silver Age appearance of Two-Face. Like this book, for Silver Age books, like I said, Silver Age is not my cup of tea all the time. This book is a good read, though. It really is. It's clever. So here's a regular raw copy, and here is one that I got signed by Neil Adams, as you can see there. Had that done at Terrificon. Same time I got my Batman 227 sketched by him. And I really like this cover too. I know a lot of people don't like the whole floating head thing, but I think this one's pretty cool. All right, more multiple copies. Amazing Spider-Man number 316, which is the first cover appearance of Venom. Sorry about the glare. And 3rd appearance of Venom in comic books. Classic Todd McFarlane cover, of course, and this is one of my favorite Amazing Spider-Man covers with Venom on it. All right, we're going to do another Spider-Man book. Well, it's not really a Spider-Man book, but whatever. It has Spider-Man in it. But we're going to do another one just so Batman can catch up, because I have more Spider-Man and Marvel books in this box than Batman. Here is a Marvel Team Up 141, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man in the symbiote costume in a Marvel Team Up title. This is a fantastic cover. I really love this cover, and I really also love the read on this book as well. This cover is done by Arthur Adams and Mike Mignola. This is Batman number 237, which is a Neil Adams cover and Neil Adams art for the interiors. And this is the first appearance of the Reaper. All right, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is my last Spider-Man book in this box. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 361, and this is the first full appearance of Carnage. Here we got a Batman number 244. This is really actually not a key, but this book is pretty pricey for a book that is not a key, actually. This is a Neil Adams cover, of course. This is a early appearance of Ra's al Ghul, and Batman and Ra's al Ghul get into a battle. And you know what? I'll say it. Spoiler alert if you don't want to hear the story. But, this comic book is actually a little disappointing, because you think they're going to get into this crazy epic battle, and then all of a sudden this scorpion comes and stings Batman in the ankle here, and that's why Batman is on the floor here. It's just kind of like he's all dazed and confused, and Ra's al Ghul's like, yeah, you know what? You had a rough day. You got stung by a scorpion. I ain't gonna fight you, buddy. You just stay there in the hot sun. Okay, more multiples. This is an Incredible Hulk number 340, and I got 3 copies in this bin. This is, again, one of my favorite books, okay? This is done by Todd McFarlane, written by Peter David. This book is absolutely epic. There's great panels in here. There's just a lot of anger and ferociousness in this book. And again, it's super epic, and it's action-packed. Blood, I like blood in my comic books. You'll see that a lot in this book as well. All right, more copies, more multiple copies. This is my favorite Batman cover of all time. Okay, this is Batman number 251, cover done by Neil Adams. As you can see here on this copy, have a signed one by Neil Adams. And I recently I think I got both of these books pressed and cleaned, if I'm not mistaken. If I didn't, I definitely know it was this one. Again, you guys got to watch that video of the results of my books getting pressed and cleaned, because the results are just amazing. Again, just really love this cover. It's just classic. There's nothing much more to say to that other besides that's classic. And if you're a huge Joker fan like I am, this is probably got to definitely be one of your favorite comic book covers with Joker on it. Okay, I probably should have showed this book earlier with my other Spider-Man number 1, but here's yet another one. This one is signed by Todd McFarlane in green. Looks really cool. I really love the green signature, which is probably why I bought it, because I was like, oh, that looks really different and really cool, so I'm going to snag that. My only regret about having these raw signatures is not having one graded. That's my only upset, because this is my favorite variant out of this comic book. And you know, I have a regular variant signed by Todd McFarlane that is graded. I have a gold one signed by Todd McFarlane that is also graded, but I don't have my favorite one signed and graded, which it is what it is. You know what I mean? There's some things in your collection that you just got to be like, yeah, whatever, I have it. Just, you know, you can't let things bother you too much about your collection. You know what I mean? Nothing can be perfect. And this is one of those things. This book is, you know, beautiful. It's near mint. It's just like the other copy. I have no doubt in my mind that this book and my other one that's double signed by Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane would definitely get a 9.8 if they were graded. Okay, this is Detective Comics number 405, and this is the first appearance of the League of Assassins. This is yet again another Neil Adams cover. I'm going to do one more DC book, okay, for people who were like, hey Kevin, where's your Swamp Thing number 1 when they saw my DC video? Here it is. It's in that bin. Okay, it's in this bin. My Swamp Thing number 1, first appearance of Alec Holland, Linda Holland, and Matt Cable, and this is the origin story of the Swamp Thing. Here is an Uncanny X-Men number 266, which is the first full appearance of Gambit. Okay, here's a Batman number 357. This is a twofer. This is the first appearance of Killer Croc, or a cameo appearance of Killer Croc, and this is also the first appearance of Jason Todd, who is my favorite Robin. Love Jason Todd because he becomes the Red Hood, of course. Okay, we're going to do one more Batman book, and then we're going to have some Marvel catch up. Here is my Batman The Dark Knight Returns, one of my favorite Batman stories, probably my second favorite Batman story, written by Frank Miller with Klaus Janson. You know, this is, again, a classic book. You know, Batman's old, and he's retired, and he comes back from retirement and kicks ass. Here's my last batch of Marvel books, and we have the Wolverine limited series. So we have Wolverine number 1, beautiful cover by Frank Miller, and we have another one, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Which one's your favorite cover out of this series? I would definitely say that number 1 is probably everyone's favorite. I know it's mine. This is when I really liked Frank Miller's artwork. Other besides, you know, when he went to doing The Dark Knight Returns, you know, so I liked Frank Miller's artwork in Daredevil, Wolverine, and that's probably about it. But I do say in a lot of my videos that I do like Frank Miller's writing a lot, but he did not write this book. This is one of my favorite Wolverine stories of all time. And it has a lot to do with, you know, Wolverine being my favorite character, Wolverine going to Japan, a place where I would love to go. And there's a lot of martial arts influence in this book as well. And you guys know that I do martial arts. I've practiced it for lots and lots of years. So I hold this storyline near and dear to my heart. This is a Batman Vengeance of Bane #1. This is the first full appearance of Bane. Fantastic read, by the way. And this is a Batman number 635, which is the first appearance of Jason Todd as the Red Hood. Another fantastic read. This is a Batman 655, which is the first cameo appearance of Damian Wayne. And this is an Andy Kubert cover. Great Andy Kubert cover. And here is a Teen Titans number 12, which is the first appearance of my favorite Batman villain, which is the Batman Who Laughs. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I definitely want to thank you for watching. If you liked anything that you saw in this video, smash that like button. If you're new here to the channel, click on that subscribe button for future videos. And don't forget to comment some feedback in the comment section. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for some slabs.